Welcome, this is Zon with Repo Products. Today's screencast video is on Autodesk FormIt 360 and how to use it to start a new project. Here I am in FormIt 360 web-based application. You can also do it via the Windows-based installation of the software as well. I have an existing file that I have open that I used from a previous video. So if I want to start a new project, head over here to the three little horizontal bars, click it, and choose New Sketch. If any work that you made in the previous file has not been saved, it'll ask if you want to continue and discard those changes. If you don't and you need to save it, click Cancel and then hit Save up here, and you can save it locally or to your drive. Once you've done this, your existing content will be saved. Then you can start a new sketch. If you don't have anything, then when you click the command to start a new sketch, it'll ask you to give it a name. Go ahead and give it any name that you want. We're going to call this one FormIt 360 Test ABC. That way I can delete it later. I'll click OK, and you'll get a blank canvas in front of you. What you're seeing is a 3D grid horizontal plane, and you're seeing the UCS icon for X, Y, and Z. The first thing you typically want to do is set the project location. And to do that, you can head over here to this little icon called Location. And when I click this, it will open up Google Maps. And in here, you can type in an address that you want. So let's say, for example, I type in our office address. And hit enter. What will happen is it will zoom into that location, and you can use your mouse to scroll in closer if you need to. And the more you zoom in, the more detail you'll get. And it's pretty much like any other Google map, from whether you're using Google Maps for the application for navigation or whatnot. Find the area that you want. You can pan and move with your mouse wheel by pressing down on the mouse wheel and moving your mouse. And then you can import that satellite image or set the location. Now, if you click Import Satellite Image, you're also setting the location at the same time. But if you just click this button, it'll set the location. I typically like to import the satellite image so you get a set of context for the site. So we'll click Import Satellite Image, and it gives you this box. This box helps you to define the area that you want to work with. So if I left click and hold my left mouse button down, it'll move the map, and then you can basically position it the way you want. If you scroll the wheel away from you or towards you, you are basically zooming in and out so that you can get some context as to how big of a map you want to place. So I'll do something like this. And when I'm done, I'll click Finish Importing up here in the upper right-hand corner, and that map will get imported. Now to zoom and rotate and orbit, it's just like all the other Autodesk software that's out there. You can use your wheel to scroll in and out to zoom. You can hold the Shift key down and press and move your mouse wheel, and it will rotate in 3D orbit, like so. You can right-click the canvas anywhere that you want, and when you do this, you'll get a contextual wheel with a whole bunch of commands. And one of the commands is the setting the axis of XYZ, which you typically might want to do based upon what you're trying to draw. So if I click this, I can then go in here and I can place the XYZ wherever I want. Say, for example, here for the 0. And then I can left click and hold and move this for the X and the Y. And then when I'm done, I double click, left double click out in the canvas area, and it's set. Now, this is how you basically set up the project location and import the satellite image for positioning to start working with your project. One of the things that I like to do lastly before I start working and start building content is I head over to this button over here called Layers, and I can actually add a layer. When I do this, I'm going to give it a layer, and I'll just call it Site Map, or whatever you want to call it. Hit Enter, and it's created. So if I select this map, I can then go ahead and assign it that layer. So when you have it selected, the content that you select is highlighted. So you have to make sure it's highlighted like I did here. If I just do a small window crossing like this, it won't select. Or if I do it from left to right or right to left, it doesn't select. You've got to make sure it's fully contained in order for it to be selected. Then up here, under the list of layers, you can assign it to that layer. The reason we do this is so that I can automatically turn on and off that sitemap visibility if I need to down the road. And so that's how you use the software in FormIt 360 to initially set up a new file and also to import a map and set the location. The last thing you want to do, obviously, is save the file. So hitting this three little buttons over here, the three little bars, you can save the file. Now don't forget, you can also save it to your A360 drive or locally. If you save it to your A360 drive, it gives you the ability to jump to any other computer to open up FormIt to get to that file, because maybe you need to work from the house or from a job site. If you click Save Locally, it's just going to store the file on your local hard drive on this particular machine that you're working with. So I'll click to A360 drive, and it will save the data. And it tells you in the upper left-hand corner. Also, when you're hitting Save, you're not just saving that AXM file, but you're also saving a Revit file as well, a .rvt file. That way, if you need to bring it into Revit, you can do so. Thank you very much for watching.